My name is Grace, and I am 56 years old. Kennedy, age 32, and Stephanie, age 29, are my two children. Unfortunately, the father is not included in the picture. Stephanie is currently 5 months pregnant with her first child. Kennedy has battled infertility for a number of years with her spouse. Although she has always envied Stephanie, her feelings are made worse by her pregnancy. Stephanie just had a baby shower, which I hosted. While Stephanie lives 4 hours away, Kennedy lives a 16-hour commute away. My guest bedroom is the only one with a Bella bed. In the basement, I have a futon as well. Stephanie had reserved the guest bedroom, so I told Kennedy and her husband, who arrived first, that they could sleep on the futon in the basement. To make the futon as comfy as possible for them, I loaded it up with thick blankets and more padding. Kennedy lost it because they had driven 16 hours, and I had to explain that Stephanie was expecting a baby and wanted a comfortable bed. Kennedy disregarded their advice and went into the guest bedroom to sleep with her spouse. Before Stephanie arrived, they got up, made the bed, and headed to the basement. When Stephanie discovered that someone had previously slept in her bed, she became irate. After a brief argument, Kennedy charged me of favoritism. She has never been pregnant, so as I indicated, she is unaware of the physical challenges. Stephanie discovered that the baby's father had a new girlfriend on Instagram the following day as we were preparing for the baby shower. Kennedy and her husband were getting things ready, so I consoled her for an hour. Kennedy started talking about Bella and Stephanie's problems and how I was encouraging her when I came downstairs. I told her that I would not allow her to ruin the baby shower and that she had to leave if she was going to continue acting nasty. They left in a huff, then. I gave the visitors the truth when they questioned why Kennedy wasn't there, and some of them felt that I was being too critical. Kennedy is undoubtedly envious of Stephanie because she is more popular at school, slimmer, and more attractive. Kennedy and I have never been close since she has continuously pushed me away, but Stephanie and I have always been really close. They came to see her husband's family in addition to attending the baby shower. The husband's parents hosted them, and Kennedy hasn't answered my calls. Your actions drive a wedge between your girls, who are already experiencing intense competition without your help. First, after fighting infertility for a number of years, Kennedy and her husband traveled 16 hours to a baby shower. I can only picture the talks that took place in the car on the way to a baby shower. Then you showed them a futon from the basement when they got there. If you had told them that they wouldn't be getting a bed in this situation, at least you could have given them the option to get a hotel room. It makes sense that everyone was displeased when Stephanie arrived because you treated your daughters unfairly right away. While the other is allowed to sleep under the laundry chute, one is treated like a princess and receives VIP care. Kennedy moved 16 hours away, so it makes sense. She has never been pregnant, so she is unaware of the physical challenges that come with being pregnant. I mean, really. To be honest, I'm shocked she didn't leave at that point. Kennedy needs to hear from you about it, and you should apologize for the offensive remark. I'm not even a woman, yet when I read it, it hurt for me. It's unbelievable that OP fired Stephanie. The guest bed has already been used, she commented. Kennedy was kind enough to let Stephanie have the bed for the evening. She and her husband napped before Stephanie came and put it back up. Stephanie continued to protest despite their use of the bed. Why? Kennedy didn't fully take responsibility for her actions for Stephanie's comfort. Oh my God, I believe we have our worst Mother of the Year nominee. It's clear who you think is the best. Whoa. I had a guest in my bed. It makes sense why her baby daddy fled to the hills. Kennedy traveled 16 hours to help her sister, and you rewarded the person delivering you a grandchild by playing mind games. Why would OM be concerned about the emotions of her older daughter? Kennedy's grandchildren cannot have it. Morgan is a prehistoric, cold-blooded lizard covered in human skin. In addition, Dude says Stephanie is more attractive. Morgan is only capable of loving one child. My sister and I have been close for 25 years, but our relationship has never been perfect. Basically, At every stage of our lives, we changed into very different people, and although we've never been particularly close, that's mostly for the best. With the exception of our few run-ins with the CA, everything are fairly amicable. Among them is this one. In any case, a few months ago, my sister got engaged. The news was amazing. I was thrilled for her because I like her fiancé. I said yes when she asked me to be a bridesmaid, and ever since, I've been in contact with her and the other girls to start planning. She was a huge fan of Harry Potter and wanted a Harry Potter theme for the wedding. It's not my style, but I didn't think she would take it too far. For a time, everything was going well, destroying that tone. My sister recently informed us that the bridesmaids would need to dress like specific Harry Potter characters. This meant that although we would still be wearing dresses, they would have to be fashioned to resemble the characters, and we would also need to have our makeup done to look like the characters. And that idea did not sit well with me. I said I didn't want to do that because no one else seemed to be responding to it. I remarked that I didn't want to be a bridesmaid if it meant having to buy a dress I didn't like and not being able to even look like myself, but it turned into a big argument with my sister. She gave me another shocking revelation. To make the wedding feel absolutely amazing, she asked each guest to wear one of several beautiful dresses or suits in the colors red, green, blue, or yellow. I told her that I thought this was completely absurd. It was ridiculous to expect everyone to dress a certain way, even though it was her wedding. We fought until I simply left, and now my dad and she are both destroying my phone. I doubt that I truly want to attend anymore, much less serve as a bridesmaid. I think this is absurd. Was I the moron for telling her that asking the bridesmaids or guests for something like this was unrealistic? You're exaggerating the size of the problem. It's very common for bridesmaids to purchase and don the bride's chosen attire. Inviting guests to wear specific colors is also rather common. It is not too much of an imposition to have a few very popular color alternatives. These are not big wedding questions, and it's not your wedding. Give up sharing your opinions. I apologize. It's not your day, it's your sister's. Put an end to your ego, accept responsibility, and dress as your sister asks. If not, this mindset will further exacerbate an already tense relationship. Just one day has passed. To be honest, I had my doubts until you mentioned that you would need to don wizard garb in addition to dressing like a character from the Harry Potter books. Not only does your sister want a wedding with a Harry Potter theme, but she also wants the characters to be the attendants, not you and the other bridesmaids and groomsmen. I find it disrespectful that she wants her own family and friends to miss out on the celebration of her marriage in this perfect world created by those people. Thanks to modern ancestral DNA kits, I discovered more than a year and a half ago that I was the father of a child born over 17 years ago to an ex-girlfriend, just before I entered college. Her spouse and mother prevented us from getting to know one another because they didn't want me to be a part of their forgiveness for her alleged adultery. Nonetheless, the truth was revealed to us. We were eager to learn everything about one another after that. My daughter Jade is an amazing person. Being her father and getting to know her has been an immense blessing. She still doesn't get along well with her parents at the moment. Even though I've been furious with them for lying to me, I'm learning to move on and still ask Jade to give them another chance. She still says she doesn't want to and that she will move in with me when she becomes 18, until she has enough money to support herself. She wanted the entire family to go out to lunch together because it was her 18th birthday this past weekend, so my family, her maternal grandparents, and cousins all ate together. Each person brought a present. Not only were they basic tickets for us to go camping in it once she graduates from high school next month, but they were also a show, which I didn't tell her about because I wanted it to be a surprise. For her, I've established a college fund, eliminating the need for her to worry about financial help or student loans. My daughter was ecstatic. I've never witnessed such a passionate cry. I was so touched to be able to bring her such happiness. The only issue was that her parents made fun of me for giving her these big, pricey gifts and coming up in front of everyone. Since that supper, her husband has been in a terrible mood because all they got her was a bracelet featuring a picture of the family. Although Jade didn't want them there, she behaves as though their lack of excitement over their gift had anything to do with what I gave her. Naturally, I kept quiet after her grandmother persuaded her to let them. I would feel foolish. However, I did clarify that my intention in doing this for my daughter was not to make her feel better than she is, rather, it was to grant her a lifelong dream and make an investment in her future, as I am unable to be in her past. She keeps saying that I'm doing this on purpose to make them look bad, even though I didn't tell them what I was going to do or seek for their permission beforehand. She seems really worried about it, and I'm not sure whether I'm crossing any boundaries. When I made that decision, Jade was going to become 18, so it didn't seem right to talk to them about it. Her spouse even sent me an email this morning, questioning why I didn't just move in with Jade and twist her feelings more by offering her money. They fought and withheld your daughter from you. In my opinion, that is unacceptable. You never got to witness her development. Even worse, it doesn't seem like she heard from them. Nothing can make up for the years lost, but you're showing her that you may be a part of her future. She is aware that her mother is upset that she was discovered but is refusing to take responsibility for her actions, and I don't think that her parents would have told her. It's not your problem, either. It's not necessary for you to continue chatting to them in order to build a relationship with Jade. Your daughter, who is now 18 and an adult, has a personal contact with her mother's stepfather. They shouldn't be advising you to act in a certain way in order to make themselves appear better or to speak up for them. To put it clearly, you are assisting this child in avoiding student loans, which as far as I know require a cosigner, which was most likely going to be them, and they are upset about it. That's a gift to them as much as it is to you. It's unfortunate that you were unable to witness her entire childhood. I absolutely hate it when ladies act in this way. I never gave the financial issue a second thought. They either make education impossible or are limited to lower grades, in my opinion. You've missed so many birthdays, Christmases, and other holidays throughout the years. It's a truly lovely present. If people were to view it that way, it would appear very appropriate. It's a blessing that you can accomplish this. My 36-year-old fiancé and I recently moved into a small neighborhood. I am 37 years old. Children between the ages of 9 and 10 are everywhere. After learning that my fiancé was expecting, we both agreed that we wanted a swimming pool. Our above-ground pool was installed last year, and the kids in the neighborhood loved it. I informed them that because the pool's lining was brittle and prone to breaking, dogs were not allowed in. I opened the pool this year, and the kids had fun in it while we were away. I attempted to refill it after noticing the low water level when we returned. I had a major tear on the side repaired after noticing it. When the children returned the following day, carrying a Labrador Retriever, I informed them that the pool was closed. When I go home, my fiancé and a few neighbors are yelling. As soon as I approach, everyone is talking about how I hurt their children's feelings by denying them access to the pool. I described the events that led to the pool's closure. A few of them burst out laughing and insisted that I open the pool again. My fiancé thinks I ought to apologize to the families and open the pool. The neighbor's insistence that you open the pool was very cool, and I sincerely hope you've complied with the no-dog policy. Additionally, it seems like you need at least one adult present at the pool. I tell them to acquire a freaking pool of their own and to shut up. The audacity that they would even approach and make such a demand. I close it permanently. I would also be cautious about allowing the kids of other people to use your pool. You are responsible if someone is hurt in your pool on your property, and based on the behavior of your conceited neighbors, they should file the first police report. In addition, I would make sure that the backyard is gated off and inaccessible. That's your land, your house, your safe haven. Unless you choose to, you are not required to let anyone in. I can see why your wife would like to maintain harmony in the new community you two are living in rather than handle a conflict with the neighbors. However, if you give in to the behavior right away, they'll always believe they can take advantage of you and do whatever they want. The entire situation is a nightmare for insurance. Your pool should never be used by anyone, especially when you're not home. One child drowning is all it will take to destroy your magnificent home and your wonderful existence. Inform them that the pool is no longer in use, then install a pool cover and cameras. It's an absurdly dangerous thing to do. At 49, Morgan and his spouse are unable to comprehend why giving a group of 9-year-olds in the neighborhood unfettered access to their swimming pool isn't an extremely dangerous choice. Furthermore, I think it's ridiculous that they decided to build the pool after learning that the wife was expecting. You know you're going to have a newborn and eventually a toddler boy, so you built a pool. Waiting till your child is older makes sense. It appears as though nothing could prevent someone from simply entering the pool. Skylar, my stepdaughter, frequently has last-minute change of heart. She alternates between wanting to wait until the very last minute and not wanting to wait until the very last minute. Henry and I don't like it when she does this because it usually means buying tickets or going somewhere far away. Skylar and Zoe, my young teenage daughter and Henry's, don't get along at all. Nothing we do seems to help them mend their friendship. Henry and I made the decision 5 months in advance so that we could fully organize our vacation. We would take an RV and go somewhere fun. To be sure we would actually go on this vacation, we told the girls a month after we made that decision. Zoe was so excited about her vacation that she got to work packing right away. When Henry and I discussed the trip with Skylar over the phone while we were sharing custody, she expressed her desire not to travel. Henry followed up with 5 more questions to make sure, and each time she said no. Skylar had better make up her mind because Henry was going to give up on her nonsense this time. He also mentioned that she would no longer be able to attend if she decided to cancel at the last minute. Skylar declared that she would not be changing her mind. We have therefore been preparing the itinerary, the type of RV we would use, the food we would bring, the destination, and other details for the past 4 months. Henry continued to question her over the course of the 4 months. Henry asked Skylar one last time 2 weeks before the trip whether we were ready to rent the 2-bedroom RV, one for Zoe and one for us. And she was convinced beyond belief that we were going to rent an RV. After giving Skylar another day to make up her mind, Henry told her that she had pled over the phone the following day. She thus desired to go. Okay, so the day of our departure arrives. We're in the RV and sitting down, getting ready to go, when Henry receives a call from Skylar informing him that she has changed her mind and to wait for her. No, Henry said, adding that he had forewarned her of this. She began to cry and begged that people please wait for her because she would be bored in this place. Henry continued to say no, hung up, and got in his car. I turned his phone to silent and carried on with the trip because he had received numerous messages from his family calling us idiots and terrible parents. When we stopped, Henry called Skylar, who said we were putting Zoe before her and that we definitely didn't want to travel with her. She put down the phone and began to ignore us. I don't feel sorry for her, but Danny feels bad for abandoning her because she needed to know that not everyone would be able to handle her last-minute change of heart. Thus, out of favoritism, I'm not going on a trip with my stepdaughter. Skylar has just discovered an important lesson: people will trust you if you say no, and you won't have to worry about them making preparations for you. This is unrelated to favoritism. It has to do with Skylar being. You guys performed exactly perfectly. Also too, a recommendation I heard about from someone else who has a family member with this condition: have her sign a declaration indicating that she recognizes she's making a commitment and will not be permitted to alter her mind. It might help make it more real to her because she tends to have difficulties with that. You were going in an RV, no aircraft tickets. You booked 2 rooms, so both girls may share. You could have taken her along. You might have scheduled the vacation to accommodate that she would change her mind last minute, and you could take her along instead of asking her 10 times. You may have asked once but still plan to have room for last-minute alterations. You and your hubby are enormous idiots. It's your failure that she isn't comfortable. The fact that she urgently wanted to come at the last minute reveals that she was struggling with herself and gave in for one last-ditch try to experience the love. But you both gave up on her. If she'd been an adult,